Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this video about styled components. So styled components allows you to add CSS to a component, and in this case, a component could simply be like a p tag, right? A p tag element or a button or whatsoever. And to get started with it, we need to install styled components, and we can do so by saying npm install styled components, and I'll get back to you once that's done. All right, great. So now that's done, I can also recommend you to install the VS Code styled components plugin. I already have it installed. As you can see right here, it's this one by Julian, I guess Poisonné. But this will give you syntax highlighting and IntelliSense for styled components, which is great. So to get started, let's add a button right here and also start our React application. npm start. All right, so let's add a button, and I will say I want this to be red. I save it. Now we wait for the application to get started. There we go. Okay, so now we have a button, and let's say we want to style this with styled components. So what we can do now, and I will close this, I can say const styled button, right? So do note that I capitalized that first letter because we are essentially going to make a component that always has to be capitalized. And then I will say styled, and I'm going to import that from styled components. And right here it can say dot button because we want to add a button. So this is where you have all your your HTML elements, which you can pick from or choose from. And then we have these double backticks, and right in here we can add the styling. So I could say background color, let's see, background color red. And now I want to, instead of saying button right here, I will put styled button. And now when I save it and I refresh the app, you will see the button is now styled with styled components. And also styled components make sure that we have, just as with CS modules, we have that unique styling being applied. But as you can see right here, it just is like a completely unique hash. So that's, you could say one downside of styled components as well, that right here, I don't know how to find this in the code base, right? So you really have to search maybe based on the content or whatsoever, but it could make finding the classes a little bit more difficult. But yeah, for now, that's not really a problem. All right, so the next thing I'd like to show you is conditional styling based on props. So the nice thing is that we can simply use props to conditionally style our component right here. So I could, for example, say that I want the background color to, let's say if we pass the property primary to this button, it will show a red background, and otherwise it will show a green background color. So I can take the props and then return props.primary, but you can call this however you want, of course. And I will say if that's true, then give it a red color, otherwise give it a green color. And now when I save this, you will see that since we have not passed the primary prop to the component, it will show as a green button. But as soon as I pass primary right here, it will be red. So that's a pretty neat way to have some conditional styling. The next thing is extending styles. So let's say we want to have another button. We want to, for example, have the same CSS properties as we put it right here, but we, for example, want to have a larger button. So let's call it const styled large button. Right here, I could say styled. And then instead of saying button, I can take in the styled button. And that's how we sort of extend based on the properties that are already in here. But now I can add something else. For example, padding of 1em. And now let's add this button right here. Then I can say large button. When I save it, you will see that we have that green color because that's what we defined right here in styled button. But we actually do have the padding now. So we kind of like composed a new button out of the existing one. So that's also pretty nice. The next thing I'd like to show you is like how to add media queries or on hovers, which is, well, essentially the same as with which is using regular CSS. So let's say we want to add a media query. I could say add media. Let's say when the max width is 500 pixels, I want the background color to be yellow. Now you see that the IntelliSense is a little bit slow. This is still a bit of a downside for as far as I know with styled components, but this might be fixed in the future. All right, so we have background color yellow. Okay, let's see, there we go. So now when I save it, you'll see then when I open my DevTools and change the size of the screen, we actually have the styles being applied. And for example, if we want to have an on-hover effect, we could say hover, and we could give it, for example, a background color of purple. And now when you save it, you'll see that the styles will be applied as well. So there's a lot more you can do with styled components. You can find more about it in their official docs. They've got pretty good documentation. But yeah, that was it pretty much for this video about styled components. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.